channel, it's Gaz at Fermented World, and today I am checking in on the Cyser. The Cyser is a mead that's made with apple juice instead of water. So we're going to see where it is, we're going to give it a taste, we're going to check how it is, we're going to check the gravity, make sure everything's all tickety-boo. Then we are going to add some dried apples, dried apple rings, more to the point. I'm probably going to have to cut them up because they're going to be going in there. We're going to rack this off anyway. I'm probably going to use about half of this bag maybe, or maybe about 100 grams. 100 grams gives 56 grams of sugar apparently, which is quite bizarre. So yeah, what we're going to do is, first of all, rack it off. Peculiar. First Cyser I've ever done, so I have no idea what it's meant to smell like. It does smell like fermented apples, so I suppose that's a good thing. And obviously I'm going to speed this bit up because it's just dull and lifeless. That's that racked off. Now we need to do a hydrometer test to determine how much alcohol is in it and whether it's finished fermenting. When you're coming towards the end of a brew, always do a test a week after each other. If the gravity is still the same, it's finished. It's stopped doing whatever it's going to do. Even if it's got sugars in there that can be used, for example, if it's above, say, 1.0010, that's just residual sugar. It's just what's left over. You can happily bottle that as long as you've got a week apart, consistent or near as damn it consistent hydrometer readings. It's not going to carry on fermenting in the bottle, which means it's safe to bottle. So let's do a hydrometer test. This original gravity was 1.116. So 116 is what I like to call it. Just to keep things simple. Now the only time it'll go below the 1 mark to begin with is if it is super dry. Like I've had one before that went to 0.990, which is the actual gravity of alcohol, I believe. Because 1.000 is water. So we're going to take a little hydrometer reading. We're going to see where we are. And looking at this, I think it's gone super dry. Which isn't a problem because I did plan on adding honey to this to sweeten it. But I'm not going to do that just yet because I've got the dried apple to put in, which is going to take up quite a bit of volume. 26. Always write down your notes when they're fresh in your mind as well, because I forgot plenty of times and I've actually had to go back, look at my own videos so they look like they've got more views than they actually have. Go back, look at my own videos to then remember the information that I was supposed to write down. So 26th of Jan 22 GV, which I abbreviate for gravity, is 0.99246. So it's nearly as dry as it can get. Nearly. So we're going to take a little test. It's not going to be sweet, obviously, because there's no sugar left. And ideally, I could do with the room in there. I'm just going to drink the lot solid. It could go back in, but it needs the space anyway. And yeah, we'll give it a quick taste. Wow. Oh, that's a slap in the face. That's not what I expected at all. It is very tart. It is very tangy. But it's somewhat moreish as well. It's weird. Oh. Right, so the next step is to get the clean demijohn. And add some of this to it. And what that'll do is it's going to go into what we call secondary. It's going to sit for a little while longer. Now, it hasn't cleared very well. I'm not sure whether it'll clear out in the bottle or whether I've got to wait for that, but it's still early days as well, because it started on the 3rd. It's now, what, 26th? So it's not a mega long time for it to be in. But yeah, we're going to go sort that out. So we're going to go grab the demijohn, and then we're going to rack this back off into a demijohn with some of these in it. Woohoo! A quick calculation with an app called Brewer's Friend, which is really good if you're doing any kind of brewing. It just calculates the ABV for you. It's really, really quick. That's at 16.3. So that's whopping for a first go at it. Maybe once I've added this apple, I'm not going to sweeten it back up now, like I said, because if I sweeten it back up now, I'm going to raise the volume of the demijohn. I'm already going to be raising the volume of the demijohn, adding the apples. So I really don't want to prat around doing that and end up it frothing up, because it could react with these and start going again with another fermentation with the sugars that are in there, because obviously there's no sugars left in this. So we are going to literally, I'm going to chop these up, chop about 100 grams of these up, I reckon. Or I might just do half. I'm not sure if I can freeze these actually. It'd be a good idea if I could. Not sure why they're grown in China. Why would they grow apples in China and then send them over here? What? Paid quite a bit for these as well, which I wasn't too impressed with. Best before the 11th of the 11th, 2020. Store in a cool, dry place. Okay. Right. So I'm going to cut them up and I'm back in a move. So auto siphon's doing its thing. It's just pumping that liquid back into there now. Onto the dried apples in there. Now, I've seen people put cinnamon in this. I'm going to try it without this time, because I'm not really a fan of cinnamon. And they say that it doesn't really give much of a cinnamony vibe, but I'm going to leave it out. See how this one goes this time, as I've not done a Cyser before. If it seems to be missing something, next time if I get round to doing another one, I'll add some cinnamon. I'm going to leave this to sit for about 2 weeks and then check it out, see what's happening, see what the flavour's like, see if it's changed, and go from there as to adding honey. Looking at the level there, I genuinely think I could add the honey now, but because I don't know what this is going to do, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to give it a couple of days and then I might add the honey and then leave it all for 2 weeks, because adding the honey could restart a fermentation. It might not, I'm not sure. So for now, I'm just going to stick an airlock on it and just leave it for maybe 2 days, see what happens. And then we'll see what happens after that, because, like I say, I don't know what this is going to do. I can see bubbles forming inside there now, just around the fruit. So whether they're the yeast that's still bound in here, maybe still there, who knows? It's quite cloudy, it's not cleared out very well, so I'm assuming so. We'll see, give it a couple of days, come back.